Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting the stream. That's what we do here in the Orange Room. We'll be starting the mighty stream. Folks, it's SG Day at long last. This is a Wildwood Spec SG from the Gibson Custom Shop, a place of power, or as they say in some places, place of power. He's gonna power. Right? This is one syllable. Pa. Place of pa. Folks, I'm just sharing this with music friends. That's what we do. We're sharers of things here in Orange Room. In the Orange Room, we'll be sharing special streams. That sounds weird. Folks, I'm going to share this one more diggity doggone place. Sharing it to a page. Sharing it to a page. Come on, y'all. I'm sharing it to a page. Folks, it's SG Day here in the city. Some cream tunes indeed, Michael Burrell. Michael Burrell, you could tell that I was going to play some cream today. Wow, that was a weird song I just sang. So many tones in this guitar. It is so good. I can dig it. Look at this mighty device. Let's see what it is. It is a 1964 a Wildwood spec 64 SG standard and VOS. It's 7.61 pounds. It's got a mahogany body and mahogany neck. Rosewood fingerboard, of course, attached with hot hide glue. The hide glue was hot when they attached it. Scalding, bubbling. A bubbling ooze of tone juices being applied in just the right amount to make sure that the neck adhered and the tone was feared. Whoa! Hot hide glue! Get that tattooed to your butt cheek. Hot hide glue! Where the tone lives. What? I don't know what that tattoo had to do with anything. The holidays. Listen, we got a single ply on the fingerboard. Gibson custom buckers wound to Wildwood specifications. So these are the same juicy humbuckers you'll find in the Wildwood Spec Lester Paul models, glorious tone machines of night and of day. It's important to have both your bases covered, the night and the day, because tone lurks sometimes in one or the other. So when you've made sure that you've got a custom spec pickup wound to include both night and day in your tonal scapes, by crack-a-me, you're ready to rock. Who's with me out there? Identify yourselves. Identify yourselves as willing to rock in the night or the day. You ready to rock? Stop bar, tailpiece. Yeah, it's got it all. It's a VOS model. And ultra faded mahogany is the actual hue. Is the tone hue, ladies and gentlemen. There is a link to this very guitar from the Information on this video. If you click above or below, depending on what format you're on. You know, if you're on the YouTubes, it's going to be down belows. If you're in the Facebooks, it's going to be up aboves. So, you know, find out where you are first in terms of the medium of this streamage. And then click and behold the sweet, nuanced information of this very guitar, which is available for your listening and dining pleasure. SGs are a glorious thing. They look very small on me, though. I'm a big man. And when you're a big man, sometimes guitars look small, and I'm just looking at me saying, you know what? It looks like I'm playing some kind of a Steinberger. Can you dig it? Can you pick it? How's the neck? You know what? It's not super skinny. It's got a little bit of beef to it. I would say it's kind of reminds me of the Slim Taper C, maybe, I would say. Sounds good, clean. William Gibson wants to know, do I get a discount if my last name is Gibson? Nah, you'll have to take that up with the people at Gibson. People at Gibson. Do I get the long lost relative rate? Ooh, that's a fancy chord right there, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Lyles, you rascal. He wants to know if my signature wah-wah pedal will be called the Wah-Wah-Tosa. I think that would be funny as heck if indeed it became a reality. Wah-Wah-Tosa. Of course, Wah-Wah-Tosa is my hometown here, ladies and gentlemen, in beautiful Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a place where there's trees that grow and water that waters. And water that waters. That's heavy. Solid body Lester Polster. Yes, it does say Les Paul up here. You know, my buddy Richie Fliegler brought to life a interesting thing that I remember. A guy named Alan Rogan, who I had the good fortune of hanging out with a couple of times. He was quite a character. He was also the guitar tech to Pete Townsend. He was Clapton's guy for a while, and the Stones. But he was also George Harrison's guy, and he curated George Harrison's collection. And apparently at one point he was hanging out with George, and George handed him that red Les Paul. And he said, "This is what the Beatles needed." And Alan goes, "You mean the sound?" He's like, "No, Les Paul." I don't know. Boy, Paul sure wrote some songs, didn't he? Seemed to write some songs for the kids. When I find myself in times of trouble, Shirley Muldowney calls to me, along with Big Daddy Dungar, let it speed, let it speed, let it speed. Shirley Muldowney telling me to speed it. I don't know where that came from. Tom Essler asked the perpetual question, any news about the little Greg amplifiers? And when I know, you will know, my friend, but I just don't know. Although I did contact my friend from Koch Amplifiers yesterday, but that was about something else. Diggity dog on it. But I will let you know. Have you seen the vid of AC/DC playing George Benson's On Broadway with an SG? Pretty darn amazing. I bet that is amazing. The sail neon lights are bright on bird. Can you dig it? Black Hat Music says, my Greg is getting delivered tomorrow. Oh, it's nice to know that they're getting out into civilization. You're going to enjoy it. Did they ever decide on the wattage? Yeah, well, for the, of course, the Greg head is the same. The Greg Jr. is the same wattage. It's just that it doesn't have the harmonic vibrato on it, doesn't have the in-depth reverb, and doesn't have the OTS. It has reverb on it, but doesn't have the 3-button reverb. But it's the same brain as far as the gain. So it's 50 or 25 watts. And then the little Greg is either 12 or 4 watts, I believe. Can you dig that kind of talk? John at Midlothian Music. How the heck is he doing? I haven't seen him in decades at this point. No, not digital reverb. It is tube reverb. Ah, no. Come on now. Woo! Can you dig it? Someone's asking about covered pickups versus uncovered. Well, I suppose you're, you take the covers off, you get a little bit more gas in terms of unsheathed power. Although I'm sure there'll be some people go, there's no difference if you take the covers off or if you do. But in my thing, that's why Jimmy Page on his guitar, he's got one covered and one not. He wanted that bridge pickup to have a little bit more sass, unmitigated growl. But there you go. You never know. This is a Wildwood spec. A diggity doggone 64 in Gibson Custom Shop SG standard in the VOS format. The link to this very guitar is in the information or description of this video on whatever format you are watching this on by Diggity Daggett. How's Dylan feeling? I think he's feeling much better. Thank you for asking. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? It's a powerful axe that screams in the night. It screams in the day. What more do you want? We haven't had an SG here in Orange Room in quite some time. I think it's been well over a year. It's been well over a year. Do-diddle-diddle-doo. The Growler. In an orange room. If the scrolls could speak, Aaron says yes. I like that kind of talk. The power of the SG. Howard Johnson asks, is a drive pedal being used or is it from the amp? It is all from this amp right here. It is my signature amp from Koch Amps. I'm using the foot pedal on the ground, which allows me to go to, this is the lead channel. That's got a little more gravy. That's even more gravy yet. And it's got a harmonic vibrato on board as well. So here's just the clean sound. I can go to a little crunchy crunch. I can go overdrive gain boost, same channel. OTS, that's you. There you go. All with the diggity doggone amp. It's the greatest amp of all time. The amp of all time for Drade. Can you dig it? I love the amp. It does so many doggone things for the kids. Purple Days all in my brain. Hi, Greg. I'm taking your new TrueFire course. Thanks for the awesome tidbits of guitar savagery. Well, thank you, my friend. Thank you for engaging in it. For those of you who don't know, I have my new TrueFire course available on TrueFire.com. It's called Gristleman Guitar, and I go into a whole bunch of different stuff. There are 3 other courses coming in the relatively near future as well, but that one's kind of an overview of all the different stuff I do, chicken picking, nostril picking, comping, funky playing, bluesy stuff, Albert Kingy type bends, slide guitar and standard tuning, pinch harmonics, yada, 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 diggity doggone. And there you have it. But there's more coming. Of course, it's a Koch amp. Well, yes, it is. It is a Koch amp. I became acquainted with the people from Koch Amplifiers, and we're like, boy, that's funny. You have the same last name as I do, and you make great amps. Wouldn't it be crazy if we came up with a signature amp? Would the world explode, or would there be a peaceful, easy feeling that would manifest throughout humankind? We went with the latter and came up with this signature amp right here, which is simply called the Greg, because you see we already had the same last name. Can you dig it? And so doggone delicious. Brushing up on my chops, says Irish guy. I like that kind of talk. It's a spring reverb. Spring reverb, Dave. Spring reverb. Spring reverb is what it has. Do you come to Argentina, Greg? I have never been to south of Mexico, which I would love to do at some point in time. It's just that it's never been put together in any way that was that made it happen. So I would like to come, especially when the pestilence is past, but there's always soon some new pestilence coming. Yeah. But for now, Orange Room is a safe place where I can beam out to humankind in the privacy and safety of my own home in a savory orange environment. Wildwood keeps sending me the doggone guitars. They're lovely in the extreme. What model of Koch amp? It is my signature amp called the Greg. See what we did there? There are other iterations of my signature amps coming. There's going to be a little gristle amp. And also something called the Greg Jr. But those are taking a little while to come to fruition because of supply chain issues. But as soon as they are available, now let you cats know, Wildwood will definitely be carrying them. Wildwood does sell this amp when they have them in stock. And when they're not in stock, you can definitely reserve ones for when they do come in, and they will set you up. Believe it or not, I don't know any John Mayer songs. I don't know a one. Not one doggone tune. I know plenty of Jimi Hendrix songs, though, which I think I've played many, many times here on this very broadcast. On this very broadcast. Can you dig it? Paul asks, can Wildwood just periodically send me guitars to play and eventually send back? Well, that's not exactly what happens, Paul. There's a lot of things that happen once they get here. There are rituals that happen. There are ancillary videos that take place. And a lot of times they sell before they leave the house to send back, which is an added feature for everybody, I think. But you know, you be you, Paul. Call them up and say, hey, bros, how can I get in on this sweet bounty? On the sweet bounty, do 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 do. Can you dig it? There you dig it. That's a little bit of that neck pickup. Neck pickup activities. Neck pickup activities and those kind of proclivities. Can you dig it? Well, we all asked about you down on the phone. bit of heat. A little bit of heat and a little bit of meat. Someone's asking about Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. Yes, it exists. Mount Pleasant. Did I ever meet Frank Marino? No, I have not. Dave asks, do you have a favorite guitar? And I always say my favorite guitar is the one I'm currently playing. Whatever guitar is in my hands is my favorite at the moment. Whatever guitar is in my hand is in my favorite in the moment. Wow, that's a song right there. No, my favorite in the moment. But I have different guitars I've had for years. I do, when I'm gigging, I usually just grab my signature Reverends because they do everything I want them to do. That's why I did the signature guitar, because I wanted the tools of the trade. And so we made the tools of the trade. And now when I leave the house, I know that all the tones I need are going to be able to be gotten. To be gotten and begotten. To be gotten and begotten. With my signature Reverends Gristle Master and Gristle 90. Wow. I don't know why the singing. I don't know why that happens. Maybe because I'm crazy. Crazy about jams. That is. I'm crazy about jams. Guitarsenal. Yeah, I like that. What am I playing? Excellent question. It is a Wildwood Spec 64 SG from the Gibson Custom Shop. And as always during these live streams, if you want to know the details of the specific guitar that I'm playing, because you have an opportunity to make it your very own, by clicking in the description of the video, there is a link to Wildwood Guitars, and that is the link to this guitar. And it'll tell you everything about it from stem to stoyan. From stoyan. I don't know, I meant to say stern, but somehow it came out as stoyan, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how it happens. The internet, it's so crazy. How does it compare to the 61 original collection? Well, first of all, this has the Wildwood Spec pickups, which are kicking ass and taking names. They're a special proprietary thing that Gibson makes for Wildwood. It's on the Wildwood Spec Les Pauls, the Wildwood Spec 335s, and now on these SGs as well. And I would say that this neck's got a little bit more beef than the slim taper. I mean, this isn't a huge neck by any stretch, but it's definitely a little bigger than the really skinny SG necks that you would get like on a 61, I believe. Can you dig it? Beefaroni, that's exactly correct. It is a glorious guitar. I do like it quite a bit. I used to play an SG back in the day. In college, I had a 335 and a red SG that I would use. Those are my two main guitars back in the day. I did have a Tele, of course, always in the arsenal. But there was a time where I needed to heed the beef of the humbucker. I needed the beef. Delicious. And so I had the 335. Then I wanted something with a little different tone. So I got it was an all red. I mean, not like this red, but like a racing red with open core black humbuckers. It looked sinister. And I used that guitar as well back in the day. Did the SG get stolen of my own? No, it went away though. Back in the day, as they say. I just heard my name, and here I am. Double stops. Well, there's all kinds of. Those are force. You can do that. It's good to know your intervals. Someone asked about using double stops. Like. So when you got thirds, that's fourths, thirds, fourths, thirds, fourths. You can do fifths. And of course, sixths. important to use, to know your major scales up and down the neck, folks. There's going to be a test. So when you're learning your modes, it's good to also learn the major scale up and down the neck and do it in all your intervals, seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths, and octaves. And that all is a potential improvisatory fodder that you can harmonize whatever lines you're doing or just add that as special lickery. Like if I just do seconds, you know. That's just seconds in A Dorian. So if I'm doing any kind of like, oh, go down half step, up, that's just using seconds and just kind of messing around, going down a whole step, down a half step, up a half step from your tonality, and then back down again. You can take it out for a split second, bring it back home again. To take the listener shkaboidle by the ear and go, hey, come over here for a minute. They're like, no, oh, I kind of like this. And then you bring them back, and they're glad they went. It's kind of like a roller coaster. They're scared at first. They don't know. They're frightened. Is this going to hurt me? And they go on the roller coaster, and they go, whoa, oh God, am I going to die? And they get done. Let's do it again. Kind of the same thing, but not. What? Well, thank you, Dave Harvey. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Did I rearrange? Why did I rearrange the orange room, says Stefan. We were getting a nasty buzz. So if I face due south or due north, the buzz isn't as bad. With single coil pickups, if I move a little, well, you can even hear it with the humbuckers. Like but it isn't quite as bad if I'm right here with the gain on. So we had to move around. I have a call into an electrician. The son of a gun's not calling me back. I thought he was a friend. You know what? It doesn't matter if contractors are your friends, relatives. They just kind of function as, you know what, I'm busy right now, so I'm not going to call you really indefinitely until I'm not busy. And then I'll call you. Kind of like how musicians should be. Hey! Did I tell you about this guitar, ladies and gentlemen? It is a Wildwood Spec 64, a Les Paul of the SG Persuasion. It does say Les Paul right here. Apparently Les Paul himself did not like the SGs, but he didn't know. He didn't know what Eric Clapton would know, and Frank Zappa, and Robbie Krieger, and Pete Townsend, and Carlos Santana, and of course, Frank Marino, and Angus Young, Dwayne Allman, and Derek Trucks. All those cats would know things. Can you dig it? Rich Moran, I will tell you, the great thing about SGs is that you can be up here in the nether regions, and it's like, oh, I got so much real estate up here, I can go fa-diddly-fa-diddly-fa-do without any problem at all. That's why I think a lot of slide guitar players like this, because you can definitely go way the heck up here and do all kinds of madness. There's lots of madness afoot up there that you can do for your kids. Tony Iommi as well, you are correct. After 909, move over once, move over twice. Egads, I think I got lies. No, I don't. Not there's anything wrong with that. It just happens sometimes. I don't think those are the lyrics, though. Can you dig it? Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Can you dig it? I missed the mini lesson videos you guys were putting out. Yeah, we'll get around to that again, I think. We were just trying to get rid of the buzz for a long time, and now I think we've got it managed. As soon as we're done with this year video, Paul and I are going to get 4 quick vids done for Wildwood quick before I have to send those guitars out the door. Back to Colorado is where they're going. Back to Colorado, do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Can you dig it? Dancing days are here again. Yes, there is the new course out. That is true. My new TrueFire course. You can actually get it through my website, gregkoch.com. Actually, I have a new book of transcriptions that I'm accepting pre-orders now for signed copies. 15 of my tunes transcribed by the good people at Hal Leonard Publishing. And I should be getting those shortly. I will sign them all up with a special magical gristle pen. And I will write, Drade, or Greg, depending on whatever I'm feeling at the moments. I'm going to sign them and send them to my buddy Chris, who will then get them out to the various people that have purchased them throughout the world. And they will savor and sample of the sweet gristle in both regular notation and tablature of my song, 15 of my tunes. And you can see all that stuff on my website, gregkoch.com, as well as a link to TrueFire. Because if you link to TrueFire from my website, I get a little extra taste of the action. And let me tell you, we're getting near Christmas time, and I always need a little extra taste of the action, if you know what I'm saying. Spread around the Yuletide cheer, hither and yon. Wow, I don't know what any of that means. Again, to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Wildwood Spec 1964 SG in the VOS format. The link to this very guitar, which features those special Wildwood Spec custom wound humbucker pickups on board that sound so damn good. You can get all the deets of this specific guitar on the description or in the description of this video. You click on it. You'll be transported away to wildwoodguitars.com, and you will get all the sweet information implanted into your sweet brain. And you'll be like, oh, that feels good. I don't know. Maybe it'll feel good. Can you dig it? Oh, thank you, Elaine. I'm glad you dig it. You got his Gristle King pedal a few months ago, and it's killer. It's a damn good pedal. I'm not going to lie. My signature overdrive pedal. Although this is a good little pedal, too. Here, this is that. What do we got? Right there. Ooh, I'm touching it, but not really. That is the Jetter. What do we call it? The ODS 181. That's a good pedal as well. That's a Wildwood exclusive. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Yes, I can. Anyways, folks, sorry, I'm singing strange songs. Listen, I got to go. Paul and I got to do some more videos. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We hope you had a good old time. We'll be back on Thursday with more guitars, more festivities, more jams, more random crazy thoughts from everyone involved, which I think is important. I encourage it, okay? Someone asked if I watched the Beatles movie. Of course, I watched it in rapid succession. As soon as one came out, I watched the next one and the next one and the next one. And I will say it's not for the casual enthusiast. I mean, you got to be a fan in order to sit through all of those various different versions of those songs. But I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the experience. Because I love, I'm kind of a late Beatlesman. I was a big fan of the Let It Be record, Abbey Road, White Album. Those are my jams. And so to get the insight of the creation of those songs, I'm all about it. I'm here for it all, okay? And people will say what they will about this, that, and the next thing. I just enjoyed it for what it was, and that was it, okay? I think Ringo is probably my favorite of all, though. He just seems, well, I did meet him once, and he was cool as the day is long. And he obviously seems cool and laid back and just fun. And played his ass off. Those grooves were rock solid. His tempos were good. Sounds were cool. He came up with cool parts. People can say what they want about all this people, but Ringo did what needed to be done in arguably the greatest and most prolific rock band of all time. Okay? There we go. All right, folks, have a pleasant remainder of your day and of your night. I'll see you on Thursday. Ooh. A special song.